Hey you guys, welcome to the Russian Girl Tarot channel. This is a channel where we get to learn how to cope with our darker parts, which is also called a shadow of ourselves. And this is not for those who cannot handle it at this moment. Whenever you feel that it is right for you to come back to this channel and you can understand more about yourself, feel free to come back and find the messages that you need. Okay, so without further ado, welcome. I'm not a licensed therapist. I did take courses for it, but regardless of the fact, this is a healing channel and it comes from literally almost my 3 years of working on it. I know it took a long time, and perfecting it behind the scenes. And I do hope you enjoy the message you received today. So we're gonna use the Dark Mirror deck and see where are you currently right now on your healing journey. I hope you are doing well. This is just a message for this week for the collective. So let's see. Where is the collective spirit currently on their healing journey at this moment? Please and thank you. So we have number 14, hiding your true self. Let's see. I feel that you've been kind of going in circles of trying to figure out how, just what I'm getting from this card, how to be yourself. Without fighting the urge to shy away from saying how you truly feel. And I know it sounds like easy, it's like some people, sometimes not all of us are able to express our emotions, and it comes from trauma and our childhood and everything else we experienced up until this moment. And I just don't want anyone to throw any judgment on this. So right here we have stage acceptance. This is the acceptance stage of grief processing. This is the 5th stage, and it says in the 5th stage, ultimately, even our self-destructive effort will fail. Rather than destroy ourselves, we somehow digest these emotions and make them part of our being. We allow sadness in, and by being sad, we express our grief and move forward. It says, hiding is keeping things inside. Lack of trust becomes lack of hope, so there must be a limit. The sentence for the card: you could be in front of the mirror, or you could hide behind the mirror, yet you choose to be the mirror. And that is so beautiful, because ultimately what this card is saying, that you are choosing to accept who you are, accept all these emotions, and it's all flooding out of you. It's very fluid, like you're just going through it and accepting it, you know, breathing it, allowing everything to make sense and to be at peace also within yourself, knowing who you are. Hiding is a survival instinct. This is the going dark part of this card. Do you want to be honest and truly be yourself? Very few people will accept you then. And I feel from this card, because there's two different sides of this person on there, that it's been very hard for you to come out, to be just like, to be you, and not be what you wanted people to perceive you as. You want at this moment to just be you, to have a voice, to have a say-so, to have boundaries, and to resolve things that have been keeping you stuck. Let me know if that resonates. So it says, very few people will accept you then. You are too complicated to be comfortable. But that is not true. You aren't complicated. You are unique. And you being yourself, you saying things for what they truly are, does trigger people. It gets them out of their comfort zone. And not everyone wants to go that deep sometimes in any certain type of friendship, family dynamic, or a relationship. And that's okay. Because you will find your people. So it says, too contradictory to be easy, too exceptional to be believed, too plain to be considered. You can be the sun, you can be the moon, you can be the door, you can be the road, you can be the butterfly in the brick. Maybe the question is not if, but when. Sometimes real solitude is when there is not a right moment to be yourself, and not the right person, and neither the right way. Being yourself is like a moment at the spa. It is a massage for the soul. A purification process that brings in oxygen and turns away age and wear. It is bliss and pleasure. I'm so happy that I get to read like a happy and positive message, because I know this channel has a lot to deal with, darker parts of ourselves. And what a pleasant and nice surprise. So let's see what wounds are attached to this hiding your true self that you are currently like reflecting on. And I created this deck by myself, and it's based on this book. Oh my goodness, my son drew on it. It's called Healing Your Emotional Self. It looks so worn out because I've been using it a lot, and I probably need to pay my sister back, and more like buy her the new book, literally, because that's hers. Pay her back for the price of this book, because, yeah. Anyways, let's see what wounds are attached to this shadow. Hiding your true self. One card, please, Spirit. All right, so we have spirituality circles. You might have been seeing numbers 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I'm Russian, so I'll write my numbers a little bit different. But so let's read about this. I feel that you are going with your heart, and your heart chakra is fully open, and you are open to experiencing new roads of information, new ways of confirming what you have been doing in silence when you are healing yourself, what you've been feeling, the communication you have with angels, with spirit, and just your psychic abilities have strengthened a lot, that you want to know more about it. Let's see. 2, 3, 4. All right, where is this? What is this? Okay, so this is a chapter on if you had a self-absorbed or narcissistic parent. And here, I got focused on seeing this one message. You might have had a person in your close circle who is a person that has those type of tendencies. And if they're diagnosed, then you know that they fully are. But we have to be very careful when we do call people narcissists, because without a diagnosis, it's almost I feel that it's not something that should be taken lightly. There's people, we all have certain traits, so we shouldn't be categorizing people and putting them in a certain bracket. We can say they were toxic, they had these type of traits, but not until someone's diagnosed that we should be even saying that type of word, unless like full-blown you are a therapist and you literally see it, in my opinion. So it says here, Spirit's saying, you know, you most likely will have to join a group, right? You're trying to join a group, either a group therapy for this, or a 12-step group, or a spirituality circle. In order to develop a healthier self, you need places where you can discover who you really are and are encouraged to express how you truly feel. You need feedback from others that supports your developing sense of self. This will include feedback that will correct your distorted, unacceptable self-image. And I do feel, just from looking at this card, that there was a feminine energy, and it doesn't have to be a female, but a person who had feminine energy that made you, most likely a mother figure, to be honest, that made you feel that either you had to look a certain way so that way they can take credit for how you look and how you behave, or they try to outdo your beauty and were jealous of it. So it says here, you need feedback from others that supports your developing sense of self. That will include feedback that will correct your distorted, unacceptable self-image. Most important, because adult children of narcissists tend to be self-destructive, isolated, and disconnected from life and from others, you need connection with others. And you desperately need the experience of being recognized and accepted by others. It says here, most children of narcissists have not established an inner life. You can do this by discovering your feelings, thoughts, and dreams, instead of allowing the television or internet to absorb your attention and distract you from yourself. Go for a solitary walk, write in your journal, read a novel, or a self-help book. Learn to meditate. Creating a strong inner circle will help you separate from your narcissistic parent and discover your true self. So definitely don't hide who you truly are. Do follow what your soul is telling you to do. Do involve yourself in other groups. Don't isolate yourself so much. You know, you're literally at a stage of acceptance. This is a beautiful stage, and I'm so proud of you. And you shouldn't keep yourself secluded. Even if you don't trust, still have this trust issue. Not everyone's out there to cause you harm. But I mean, look, I might be biased, you know, because I used to feel that way too, you know, like I used to think that way. Let's see. So let's see what this hiding your true self further unlock. How does this further unlock your unconscious mind? And I'm sorry, I wrote these things on a piece of paper and I can't even read my own writing. It looks like something from another language. So let's see. we're going to use the Shadow and Light deck to just uncover further how you might be able to apply this, if it suits you, this message from this deck. How will you be able to further apply it to opening yourself up to spirituality circles? Like, what is the next step for you to do besides just joining, you know, spirituality circles? I just didn't want to draw too many cards. I haven't been back for a long minute here. Spirit, how does this shadow further unlock the unconscious mind of the collective? Alright. It is a little stale in the energy, I'm not gonna lie. Even though I used this morning. I'm about to literally pull a card out because I know people are so impatient these days. And I get it. And if you feel like clicking away, that's all good. Maybe this message isn't for you, you know? Maybe you needed to hear what you had to hear. So we have number 9. We have vulnerability and empathy. There you go again. So let's read a little bit about this card. I do feel that Spirit's saying you have to have discernment whom you share with. Certain details about yourself that are private. Even if you have, I don't know why I feel like saying, if you do have a business and you are very empathetic and you do share about yourself, right now is the time to also I don't know why Spirit's saying it, but you know, to focus on who you're trying to help, not relate through experiences with a collective. Now I don't know what that means. Or just sharing a lot about yourself. This is just a message probably for one person. Vulnerability and empathy. So to further look into this hiding your true self card that we got, the first card we got, it says here, empathy and vulnerability should be looked at as a shadow and light, because empathy is the ability to truly feel and be with someone in their feelings, to walk together with them on a dark road. It is not standing there beside and waving at them, but truly being there for them, to hold their hand and drown with them for a moment and be able to feel their emotions. By understanding how they feel, you can help to pull them up to the surface again. To be able to say, I feel sorry with you, instead of I feel sorry for you. Let their feelings blossom in their darkness, let them spread out, and in that way, they can be freed of some of the pain. When we are vulnerable, we let other people in. It is the way we can show them the dark path we are taking with all its flaws and nastiness. We let them see the parts of us we have tried to hide deep under the surface. Therefore, empathy cannot exist without vulnerability. If you don't dare to show yourself and what you truly feel, it is almost impossible for others to understand you and show empathy towards you. So this card, it challenges you to think of your vulnerability as an asset rather than a liability, as a strength rather than a weakness, a true power within you. You have so much to gain from showing your true self. It might feel extremely scary to show your vulnerability in front of someone, but don't you admire people that do this? Don't you think of them as brave and strong? Showing vulnerability is often seen as being weak, but it's actually being extremely strong. Someone opening up to you might make it easier for you to open up to them, and likewise, you can help someone else to release their feelings by revealing yours to them. A bond of trust and empathy can then start to flourish and grow. Affirmation: my vulnerability is my strength. And I did have this feeling to go back to what I did say about one particular person, about them being vulnerable with their business. It's to one particular person. This is not for the whole collective. Okay, the whole message here, Spirit is saying, yes, you have to be vulnerable. You have to show people that you're not just listening. You hear their soul, you hear their emotions, you hear their need for sharing their grief with you. And these spirituality circles, whichever way that you are applying that in your life, they will help you see that there's so much resemblance and similarities and friendships to be made. Even if you're doing a 12-step group, whatever group that you are doing, or whatever project you're working on, or a business you have, just know that it's very important to understand that when you are being fully yourself, when you accept yourself, that it's the strongest thing ever to be vulnerable. Because all of us are so afraid these days to, a lot of people, I should say, not all of us, excuse me, are afraid of being judged just for being themselves. So they just stay away. They shy away from really expressing what's going on in their lives. They hold all these burdens. They get sick, you know. And Spirit is saying you should definitely try to be more open. The whole message is be more open during this beautiful stage of acceptance. More open and accepting of being empathetic and vulnerable. So the exercise here is, next time a close friend asks you how you are doing, try and stop for a second and not automatically reply that you're fine if you are not. See if you can be a little more authentic in your response. Start small by admitting it's not the best right now, but you're working on it. Or if you are, in fact, extremely happy, try and tell them why. Try to tell them why. Instead of saying great, explain the feelings you have. Perhaps it's gratitude or love. And you know, it's just how we all do it. Excuse me, like we're all like, yeah, I'm doing fine, my day's okay. But we don't, oftentimes we don't open up about it. Maybe we feel, I feel that, like, I was gonna say a burden. Maybe sometimes you feel that burdensome if you open up about what's going on in your life. But if those people are there for you and they're your soul tribe, they will hear you out. They will empathize and be vulnerable back with you. especially the ones that have been in your really close circle that you truly trust. So let's see what you will need to hear most at this time. At this stage of acceptance and the stage of healing, we're going to use Grief, Grace, and Healing deck and see what is the one message that will come out for you. This is beautiful. I like it how it's super just calming, and it's very just reassuring the whole time that you have to open yourself up. Like, you have gotten this far. Don't be afraid. You are your tribe will love your vibe. One card, please, Spirit. Just one message of Grief, Grace, and Healing. What did they have to hear from this deck? What is it that they most need to hear? And I do love reading the messages in the books, because it just shows us more where we are and explains more on things rather than just using tarot cards, because this is more personal, more connected, more set in a certain way to where you can perceive it at this moment. 36, this is Grace. Learn the lesson with love. Grace helps you view experiences, relationships, or situations through the lens of learning. A profound lesson now helps you understand yourself, others, and the world even better. So you have learned a lesson with love in family, friendships, or relationships, or all of the above, right? It just depends what journey your soul decided to take in this lifetime. I've gone through all three and that's okay. You know, it's a beautiful when you get to see the illusions and ways that we keep ourselves from succeeding and being who we truly are. So assimilating this teaching of the lesson with love, it ultimately brings more blessings to you and others. Avoid being too critical, judgmental, or harsh with yourself. Love yourself through this awakening for quicker, more powerful shifts. And here is basically Spirit saying, in order for you to shift your reality, to shift onto a timeline that you desire to be on, a certain way that you desire to live and are looking towards manifesting, you have to love yourself and be kind to yourself. Have mercy on yourself. Have mercy on yourself and all the things that you have gone through. God has mercy on us, on everything we do. Give yourself that. Your inner critic is like the worst enemy of you, especially to earth signs or anyone who's like has Mercury strongly in their chart, like who's a mercurial. Like, it's just almost like unavoidable for us to sometimes slip into this way of thinking, even though we know better. You know, it's because sometimes we're just not living in our own reality. We like to look at certain things, we compare, but all of that gets us into judging ourselves because we don't see ourselves where other people are. And that is not how you should treat yourself. You should treat yourself with grace. Give yourself grace. You have learned a lot and you understand things so much better now. It's a very I feel that whatever you went through is super eye-opening for you. And you try still not to judge, but I'm telling you, your vibe will attract your tribe. Whatever circles that you join, or groups you join, feel free to express yourself. Don't hide who you truly are. I feel that you just keep certain things to yourself, but it doesn't mean that if you don't share something, that everyone will understand or they'll judge you. There are these groups, these certain things we sign up for a reason, because we feel a connection to whatever the message is there for us. 36. Let's just deeply dive into this one. The expanded meaning of this. Grief naturally instigates a time of reviewing and reflecting upon your life. One of the most profound and sometimes incredibly difficult things about life is that we are always learning, or always being invited into the classroom of existence. A lesson can happen organically, like being reminded that your actions cause reactions or consequences in the world when others get upset and offended by an offhand comment you make casually. Or a lesson may be something more fated or spiritual, like encountering someone challenging who ultimately teaches you to practice having compassion for all people. Lessons can be brutally painful, like learning just how difficult it can be to start a new business when you lose all your savings doing so, or learning just how strong and resilient you are when a long healing journey demands you find a way to keep going. For that reason, be loving with yourself, especially if you're learning a tough lesson right now. Soften your energy with yourself and practice unconditional self-love and acceptance. You guys need to practice your breathing. There's a 4, 6, 8 methods, some kind of like a breathing method, or whichever method works best for you. I feel I've been like out of breath this whole time, like holding my breath, and practice more relaxed breathing to help you through this, because breathing this hard, I mean, I had to literally stop in the reading because I realized how intense I got. So definitely soften your energy with yourself and practice unconditional self-love and acceptance of you, which brings out the best in humans. If you struggle with self-love, try working with the daily affirmations and gentle action steps. It says in this text, a year of self-love calendar, but you can have your own affirmations you write for yourself and gentle steps for yourself, in which resonate with you and you feel about yourself and know about yourself. Okay, not going from soul, not the ego. Identify more pleasurable lessons happening in your life as well, brought to you by grace, like learning just how much someone cares for you when they show up to support you, or learning just how creative you are when a project taps into new avenues of genius within you. The action steps for this card. You don't have to like lessons when they're happening. Many times we simply endure them. Often the positive benefit of a life lesson shows up not immediately, but over time. If you're learning something hard about yourself, someone else, or life in general, Be kind to yourself in actionable ways, like speaking gently and encouragingly to yourself in your own thoughts. Be good to yourself by seeking out people, activities, things, and places that you love and that nourish your spirit. All this whole message goes so well together, so beautiful. It is a self-sabotaging myth that we get more out of ourselves when we are hard on ourselves or overly punishing and critical. That is so true. And I thought, like, the harder that I push, the more I would get to where I needed to be in my life, in channel, like everywhere. And I got burned out. It's a total myth. So let's see. If you're disappointed with yourself, this is such a long message, you guys, so I had to find like where I was. If you're disappointed with yourself, let this be a gentle lesson for you to be more compassionate, empathetic, and less judgmental with others. How can your own lesson transform you into a source of grace for the planet? There's always a way, and your heart helps you discover it. Make the lesson mean something positive and valuable for yourself and others. Write a list on a sticky note or in your journal of all the pleasurable lessons that you have received lately, even if they're tiny, like learning how nice and connecting it can feel to be polite to a stranger. Focus on any pleasurable lessons you're learning. Yeah, the more we see our pain as power, as wisdom, as courage, as a new opportunity to explore who we are, to really see what we really want to do with our life, who we really want to connect with, how we want to live, what values and morals we have. The more you will see that the negative thinking of what has happened to you, the less you find it negative, because it brought so many positives after you had a challenging situation. And I don't know what it is, for I only pulled out one card for exactly what type of wounds that you would have from this deck. And the spirituality circle isn't really a wound, it's more just the sharing, the exposure, vulnerability, like what we're talking about. So the more you open up to the right people, right groups that you're in, or right therapists even, there's nothing bad going therapy at all. The less you will think of how negative the experience will be. It won't lessen it, completely, because it's a whole life healing journey. There's always some little thing that we're curious about and why we're still having it. So we'll always learn something new about one another, and about other people and ourselves. So I think it's very beautiful. Healing is a process. It doesn't mean that you're not healed all the way just because you're looking at certain little aspects of yourself. You accepted yourself already. I'm just saying there's always something that you can appreciate about all this growth, and also certain emotions and things will come up in the right time for you to process whatever else you are going through, or just thinking back on whatever you need to really was going to say let go or forgive. I don't know why exactly. Because I don't know what your circumstances are in all your lives. And let's see the self-care option that you can do for yourself. And I will be done with this reading for this week for the collective, because I have other little ones that I'm doing as well. So what is the self-care message for the collective that they need to hear today, Spirit? Okay, we have reflection, 2 cards. For one who finds joy within the self, rests satisfied within the self, and whose life is dedicated to self-realization, there remains nothing further for that person to accomplish. Bhagavad Gita. How has your quality of life improved since you began your self-care journey? Maybe something you might want to reflect upon. I'm gonna really need to start doing these questions myself with you, so that as I'm doing this, because this is also, you know, a message for me. So reflect on and celebrate your progress. So how has your quality of life improved since you began your self-care journey? Second card, you might have been seeing numbers 666, 111, or 555. Please look them up and find a message that pulls you to it. People who love themselves don't hurt other people. The more we hate ourselves, the more we want others to suffer. So hear that again. This is where you're at. This is so beautiful. People who love themselves don't hurt other people. The more we hate ourselves, the more we want others to suffer. I feel that you're definitely reflecting on how much you've grown. As it all says here, and Spirit's also saying, remember that love for yourself, so that way you continue the path that you're on in your healing journey. And of course, definitely stand up for yourself. You know, don't be somebody people can walk on, but don't intentionally, you know, hurt people. And that makes sense. That's common sense. Like, why would you want to hurt somebody? You wouldn't want that. Like, it doesn't resonate with you. But the more we hate ourselves, the more we want others to suffer. And I feel that this is a sentence where you've been seeing this in people who have hurt you, that they hate themselves. They really don't like themselves. And that is why they were so negatively impacting your life in the way you think about yourself and perceive yourself. This time of year. Reflect on the time that you hurt someone else. Now that's another way of thinking, right? Of reflecting. What inside of you was out of balance during that time? Have you been able to rebalance those parts? And we always think, you know, we want to hear about how people hurt us. I watched like thousands upon thousands of those spiritual videos. Trust me, I went through all these little stages. I have, okay? I have done it all. I'm like, oh my goodness. But you know, I was just trying to see if someone could help me understand what I was going through. Like, I really wanted to relate to someone. And this is why I made this channel, because I really want us to be continuing to be better human beings, more souls in human being, and human body. I am bilingual, but honestly, that is like seriously so not an excuse at all. Like, I'm beyond that. But hey, no one's perfect. Wow. So reflect on a time that you hurt someone else, and what inside of you was out of balance during this time. Have you been able to rebalance those parts? It's so hard to look at it, you know, sometimes. But let's look into it. Let's really see. Like, what point of hurt we were coming from when we hurt someone? What was unstable in our lives? Yeah. So let me know. You know, I just had this like thought, you know, it like I remembered. That thought, I remembered when I hurt someone I love. And that was just because I never talked about something what I was talking with them before that time. I never talked to not one person about it. And I felt so untrue to myself. And the guilt ate me alive. Like months later, I was just like, okay, not months, like weeks. I was like, I can't do it. I cannot do this. I have to stay, you know, because I really want to live an authentic life. And what was out of balance, you know, honestly, I didn't feel grounded. I didn't feel that I gave myself the most care. I didn't, I started doing less of the things that I used to do to appreciate myself. And in the moment of vulnerability, when I should have been honest, I wasn't. And for fear of judgment. And, you know, it's, you know, and the craziest part about it, here's the craziest, coolest part about it. Not even the craziest, but like, wow. When it comes to acceptance, right? Being vulnerable and empathetic. And not hiding yourself, not hiding your true self, being vulnerable and empathetic. Having your spirituality circles, you know? Having grace on yourself. It widened my whole relationship with that particular person in my life. It opened up a way that I thought there's no way that this person would just love me for me based on how they think, how they have, you know, their spirituality, based on their morals and values, or just how they grew up before they were awakened. It was it was a gesture of love I did not expect, a type of support I didn't expect. But in truth, when you deny yourself the truth, you deny yourself the opportunity to see what can further along with your friendships, relationships, you know, family dynamics. If you're just vulnerable and honest with those who do care about you, who do say things about themselves, do the same things for you that how you talk with them. It makes you feel so seen and appreciated. You know, everyone's flawed, but that was just so freaking beautiful, you guys. I'm glad I got to use this example. But yeah, I've never thought I would cross to another type of friendship level of communicating by being with myself. But it was just so profound that this person said, all you had to do was just be honest with me. But not in a threatening way. They said, whatever it is, whatever you don't talk to me about, you know, how am I going to know if it's the true you? So, yeah. Those are the things that Spirit does want you to look at, where you can connect, the circles you can connect to, the hobbies, and whatever you are trying to do in your life, business, whatever that you can connect to, where you can be your true, fully authentic self. I do feel that this is concentrated mainly on circles of around healing and certain topics, such as mainly as having a self-absorbed narcissistic parent. This might be a message just for the few, or if you know they are, then you know, like, it's not like I'm just saying it from like a human perspective, you know, because people abuse the freaking term narcissistic. I've done it before. When I was lower vibrational, I've done it. Okay? So, Spirit wants you to really open up. Go get some help for you. Or do blogs, however your help looks like to you about this. Just don't leave yourself out. Don't leave yourself out of connecting with people. Okay? I've done this for such a long time. Like, it is not fun. It is not okay to always leave yourself out of things. Okay? You are in a stage of acceptance of yourself. Accept that this can be something good. Okay? You're a powerful manifester. And see, how has your quality of life improved since you began your self-care journey? Reflect on and celebrate your progress. And also reflect also on a time that you had hurt someone else, to put you in a different type of shoes, not just how we always think how someone else hurt us. How do we hurt people? Because we oftentimes just don't look at those things, you know, or it's just like there's something here that Spirit really wants you to see that might be out of balance just a little bit still. What is inside of you was out of balance during this time. I'm literally like saying the card. I don't know why I'm like, I can just read this card. So have you been able to rebalance those parts? Is basically what Spirit's saying. Have you been able to rebalance something that felt unrocky, not stable at the time that you have hurt an individual? And I know you're all great people. I know you are a wonderful soul tribe. So just know this is just a message for us to think, for you to, you know, think about deeper things on our healing and see that Spirit sees you and that I see you and that you are supported on this journey. I know I'm not like for everyone, okay? I know. It might take a while to get a channel, you know, thing, but hey, I'm all about patience. Double Virgo here, seriously. But, you know, I hope you enjoyed these messages. I hope something here clicked for you. I hope you feel seen and heard. And I do hope that you feel loved, because you're so loved, okay, by the universe and me. and everyone in your life right now. Remember, just those 3 people, they have, even if you have 3 people, right? I think I have heard it somewhere. Like, they are more than enough for you at this time than having hundreds of people who don't understand you, you know, because they know you and they love you for who you are. Just know also that your vibe attracts your tribe. I hope you stay grounded. I hope you think about certain things in this message, and I truly hope something here validated your existence. You matter, okay? And I'm so proud of you, because I know it takes us a long time to get to really accept things about ourselves. And I'm just feeling the collective because I meditated, so I know I'm feeling you. But I'm so proud of you, and I wish you a great day. Bye-bye.